In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on January 3rd, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Charlotte Hornets versus Detroit Pistons. The Charlotte Hornets, currently holding a disappointing 7-25 record, are looking to end their dismal 8-game losing streak as they take on the Detroit Pistons on Friday, January 3rd, 2025. The game will take place at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, presenting a chance for the Hornets to bounce back from their crushing 155-108 loss to the Chicago Bulls in their last outing. Meanwhile, the Pistons enter this contest with a sense of optimism after securing a solid 105-96 victory against the Orlando Magic. For the Hornets, this game is a crucial opportunity to rebuild their momentum, while the Pistons aim to capitalize on their recent success and continue their push toward the playoffs. The Hornets claimed victory in the first 2 games of the season series, which means the Pistons are likely to approach this game with a heightened level of focus and determination. Detroit has been in strong form recently, winning 4 of their last 5 games while successfully covering the spread in each of those victories. On the other hand, Charlotte has struggled significantly during their current losing streak, managing only a 2-6 record against the spread. Although laying substantial chalk with the Pistons might be daunting, the circumstances leave little choice. The Hornets have gone 1-9 straight up and 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games, with key players such as LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller appearing on the injury report. Detroit, quietly making strides by winning 6 of their last 9 games, must seize opportunities like this to solidify their playoff hopes. Currently sitting in the 9th seed, the Pistons are taking steps in a positive direction as they continue to rebuild their franchise. The Hornets' struggles to secure victories have persisted all season, and their confidence took another significant blow after a heartbreaking overtime loss to the Bulls on Monday. Conversely, the Pistons have been showcasing some of their best basketball of the season and will look to maintain their upward trajectory with another win in this matchup. So the Detroit Pistons to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Charlotte has played 5 consecutive games where the total points scored fell under the set line, while Detroit has seen 5 of its last 6 games go over the total. With injuries to key players like Jaden Ivey for the Pistons and possibly Ball for the Hornets, both offenses are likely to face challenges, potentially leading to a lower scoring game. Historically, the under has prevailed in 7 of the last 8 head-to-head meetings between these 2 teams. According to StatMuse.com, the Hornets rank 23rd in pace, while the Pistons rank 18th, indicating a slower style of play that aligns with low-scoring outcomes. Detroit's offensive production could take a hit due to Ivey's absence, while Charlotte's recent defensive improvements add to the case for the under. The Hornets have seen the total go under in 20 of their 32 games this season, including 8 of 14 on the road and 6 of their last 8 overall. Similarly, the Pistons have gone under the total in 3 of their 5 games as home favorites and have consistently fallen under the fourth quarter game total in 41 of their last 63 contests. Without Ivey, Detroit may struggle to find additional scoring options, particularly against a Charlotte defense that ranks 15th in opponent scoring and 11th in points allowed in the paint. Given both teams' offensive struggles and the slower pace of play, a low-scoring game appears likely. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Orlando Magic versus Toronto Raptors. The NBA features an exciting Eastern Conference matchup as the Orlando Magic travel north to face off against the Toronto Raptors. This will mark the first of 4 scheduled games between these teams this season. The Magic are coming off a tough 105-96 road loss to the Detroit Pistons, where they fell short as 2.5-point underdogs. On the other hand, the Raptors are fresh off an impressive 130-113 home victory over the Brooklyn Nets, a game in which they comfortably covered the 1.5-point spread. Orlando will be without several key players, including Paolo Banchero, Moritz Wagner, Gary Harris, and Franz Wagner, while Toronto enters the game at nearly full strength. The only potential absence for the Raptors is R.J. Barrett, who is listed as questionable due to an illness. Offensively, the Magic have shown inconsistency throughout the season, but they have an opportunity to exploit Toronto's weak defense. The Raptors also struggle with foul trouble, which could work in Orlando's favor given that they rank in the top 10 for both free throw percentage and two-point shooting accuracy. On the other side, Toronto has had difficulties protecting the basketball, a trend that may hurt them in this matchup. Despite Orlando's injury woes, it's challenging to ignore Toronto's struggles this season. The Raptors hold a dismal 8-25 straight-up record and have failed to cover the spread in 4 of their last 6 games. While the Magic are missing several players, they consistently bring effort on the defensive end and have Jalen Suggs stepping up as their primary leader on the court. Additionally, Orlando has dominated this head-to-head series recently, winning 5 of the last 6 matchups against Toronto. In games between these two teams, the favorite has covered the spread in 6 of the last 8 contests. Even with their injuries, Orlando's resilience makes them the more trustworthy pick. So the Orlando Magic to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Magic must adapt to their limited roster, which has forced them to shift away from a fast-paced offensive style. Instead, they rely on slowing down the game and leaning heavily on their defense to secure victories. Jalen Suggs remains the lone consistent scorer for Orlando, averaging double figures, while the rest of the team consists of role players who must step up to fill the void. This strategic adjustment has made Orlando the slowest team in the league in terms of tempo, and they now rank last in scoring. However, this slower pace has had a positive impact on their defense, as they currently rank second in the NBA in points allowed per game. Toronto, meanwhile, may face challenges of their own, especially if R.J. Barrett remains sidelined due to illness after missing their previous game. Although the Raptors scored an impressive 130 points in their last outing, regression is likely, particularly against an Orlando defense that excels at limiting scoring opportunities. The Magic have been exceptional at stifling opponents both on the perimeter and in the paint, while also allowing the fewest offensive rebounds per game. This defensive prowess, combined with their methodical pace, presents significant obstacles for the Raptors. Considering the offensive inconsistencies Toronto has displayed throughout the season and Orlando's defensive capabilities, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Washington Wizards versus New Orleans Pelicans. The 2 weakest teams in each conference are set to face off in New Orleans on Friday night, and to help you make an informed decision, we've prepared detailed team breakdowns and predictions for the Wizards versus Pelicans matchup. Washington enters this game with a record of 6-25 straight up and 12-18-1 against the spread. On Wednesday, they secured a decisive 125-107 victory over the Chicago Bulls as +6 underdogs at home. On the other hand, New Orleans holds a 5-29 straight up record and is 12-22 against the spread. They suffered a 119-108 defeat against Miami on Wednesday as +9 underdogs on the road. This game is the first of a home-and-home series, with the two teams set to meet again on Sunday in Washington. The Wizards continue to play without the services of Bilal Coulibaly and Saddiq Bey, while the Pelicans are still missing key players Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram. It's challenging to identify a clear advantage for either of these struggling teams, both of which appear to be vying for the top pick in this year's NBA draft. Although the Pelicans are more talented on paper, much of their talent will be unavailable on Friday night. Without their 2 leading scorers, New Orleans has now lost 11 straight games and 29 out of their last 32 matchups. Meanwhile, the Wizards have only marginally outperformed the Pelicans this season, but they come into this contest as the healthier team. Additionally, Washington's guard Jordan Poole is finding his stride, playing some of his best basketball since joining the Wizards. In a game where both defense and offense are expected to be lackluster, Poole could prove to be the decisive factor. Over the last 5 games, he has averaged over 25 points per game and will look to capitalize on a Pelicans defense that ranks 29th in efficiency and 25th in scoring defense. With both teams being below average shooting squads, the edge could tilt towards Washington. A key factor will be rebounding, as the Wizards rank 12th in the NBA in total rebounds per game compared to the Pelicans, who rank 23rd. This home-and-home series deserves credit from the schedule makers for accurately predicting the 2 worst teams in the league would face off at this juncture. Something has to give in this opening game, and unfortunately for New Orleans, the odds seem stacked against them. For one, they are in the midst of an 11-game losing streak, with an average margin of defeat of 8.6 points per game. Furthermore, the Wizards are coming off a win and have experienced victory 3 times since the Pelicans last did. While it's not much, Washington appears to have the slight edge surge in momentum. Lastly, with the Pelicans missing their two most important players, their roster depth remains a significant issue despite solid efforts from players like C.J. McCollum and Trey Murphy. This marks only the 7th time this season that New Orleans has been favored, and they are just 1-5 against the spread in this role. In contrast, Washington has gone 3-1 against the spread in their last 4 games, while the Pelicans are 1-3 against the spread over the same period. It's puzzling why the Pelicans are listed as 7-point favorites in this matchup. Is it because Jose Alvarado is returning? While Alvarado's energy is undoubtedly impactful, it's unlikely to significantly shift the betting market. The Pelicans, with only 5 wins and a 12-22 against the spread record for the season, have done little to justify this spread. Regardless of the opponent, laying this many points on a team with such a poor track record seems unwise. For context, the Wizards have covered the spread in 6 of their last 9 games. Unless there's unexpected injury news for Washington, which appears unlikely, this line seems overly optimistic for New Orleans. So the Washington Wizards to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Wizards have allowed 123 or more points in 3 of their last 5 games leading into this matchup in New Orleans. Meanwhile, the Pelicans have given up 116 or more points in 4 consecutive games. Both teams rank in the bottom 3 in defensive efficiency and are among the bottom 5 in scoring defense. Given these defensive shortcomings, don't expect much resistance on that end of the floor from either team. Washington's fast-paced playstyle adds another layer to the game. They rank 4th in the NBA in pace of play, and coupled with their rebounding advantage, should be able to control the tempo of the game. In their 2 meetings last season, the under hit both times, with the teams averaging a combined 261.5 points per game. While these 2 squads rank among the lowest scoring teams in the league this year, they also feature defenses that are in the bottom third of the league in terms of points allowed. Washington has scored over 120 points in 3 of their last 6 games, while allowing over 120 points in 3 of those contests as well. Similarly, New Orleans has scored over 110 points in 4 of their last 5 games and has allowed over 115 points in 5 straight in 7 of their last 8 games. Historically, the under has been successful in this matchup, going 4-1 in the last 5 meetings and 33-30-1 between the 2 teams this season. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.